My name is Ben Holtzman, and along with my two partners, Sammy Lopez and Fanda, we are P3 Productions, and we are the producers of this show. We've been telling pretty much everyone who asks that everything about this show has been a gift to us as producers, and so much that we've learned on this show has changed our entire perspective of this industry and everything that we intend to do to help make it a more accessible industry for everybody. I want to acknowledge some folks who joined us on stage after the show, including our amazing swings. We've also got our writing team, Jacob Yandora. I want to share a little story about the origin of this beautiful musical, which started 6 years ago when Jacob found the documentary on HBO and shared it with his writing partner, who had shared it with a group of young producers who had just met them and were looking for their first project to build from the ground up. At the time, I was working in the office of Hal Prince, who was my mentor for the last 4.5 years of his life. Yes, I saw someone point to the HP up in the corner. Around the time that I met Jacob and Rebecca, Hal was opening his final Broadway musical, Prince of Broadway, and he was looking for a new show to collaborate on. And he expressed to me that he was interested in exploring autism in a musical. And I was very, very ambitious as a young assistant and said, I have the project for you. And I brought Jacob and Rebecca up to meet with Hal, and they just clicked immediately and decided that they wanted to embark on this project together, which I think for anyone who was involved in those early days can say it was the most formative experience of theater making. What I didn't know at the time was that Hal was already very, very familiar with the documentary, as Alexandra Shiva, the amazing documentary. She's a very close family friend of the Princes, and as it turned out, the documentary is dedicated to Hal's granddaughter, Lucy. So, as you can see, it was really written in the stars that this project was supposed to start. And for anyone who knew Hal Prince or knows his body of work, you know that his entire career was dedicated to new artists and telling new types of stories on Broadway. And that's exactly what we intended to do with this production. And everything about it, from start to finish, is dedicated to Hal's legacy and Hal's memory.
We would also like to take a moment to acknowledge all of the real-life documentary participants who were so incredibly instrumental to the development of this piece, so gracious with their time, with us, with all of the artists involved. So this is a shout out to the Amigo Family Counseling Center. Within the Amigo Family Counseling, we are so lucky to have two very instrumental people in the audience with us tonight, both the documentary filmmaker Alexandra Shiva, as well, we are so grateful to have the centerpiece of Amigo Family Counseling with us, the real Mr. Dr. Emilio.
To thank everyone who was involved in uplifting this remarkable musical. As you can see, every person on the stage, this incredible cast, our swings, all of the creative team. We also have the Access team who worked with us to make accessibility not only on stage but also off stage. We have all of our investors and co-producers. And we have you, our audience. So many of you have spread the word, and we've heard you on social media and sending us emails, and we are so grateful for how dedicated you all have been to this show. I'd also like to thank, all of us would like to thank Sammy Cannell, the director. She took the reins from Hal Prince, and she always understood that, using her great vision and genius, that a musical could be entertaining, a work of art, and also a work of advocacy. And we also just want to let you know there will be a future for this show. We will go way beyond Broadway, and we will keep you posted. So, before we close, I'd like to invite Imani up here, Imani Russell, who would like to speak on behalf of the autistic company members.
I did ask P3, and they so graciously said that I could say a few words. So, thank you. That was my mom. So first thing over, I was like, oh, I would like to be the autistic rep for the Spectrum of Sevens. And you know, I so deeply wish that we could have performed longer. This feels so soon, but I did want to take a second to acknowledge and focus on all that we have accomplished in our run, even in the short amount of time it was. We got to share the show with 99 audiences. We got to record an original Broadway cast. Streaming. We made 45 Broadway debuts. We also made history. Never has Broadway had this many openly, actually autistic actors on stage. And you know, I had a lot to say. You guys thanked a lot of the people that I wanted to thank. And you know, Lily Ling. Amazing music director. Chris York, our voice coach, the incredible band, our costume designers, our wig designers, and of course Team Accessibility, like you said, and I think that it's like we have a long way to go, but this was a very first step in saying like accessibility for the most marginalized of us, it will eventually be accessibility for all of us. Thank you to our stage management, to audio, lights, Linus team and team props, hair, our fantastic dressers, our physical therapists at MIMS Method, the ushers and bartenders, and we can't run the show without you, everyone that I'm forgetting, and thank you to every single swing. I want to say their names. Marina Jansen, Marina Peters, Ayana Nicole Thomas, Martine Sola, Colin Hancock, John Christian Spectrum Club 7, I want to say a deep thank you to Cesar, Christina, Darlicia, Haven, Nick, Andrew, Carlos, and Melina for your guidance, for your support, for your willingness to learn alongside of us. Spectrum Club 7. You guys are very hard. There's no one else I would have wanted to make my Broadway debut with. And thank you to you all. To all of the incredible, I want to also, like, the autistic fans are a make-up. We're also so grateful for every single one of our fans, and also the autistic subset within that has been sharing this show, and felt seen by this show, and that's who we do it for. That's the gift of the show. Yes, this show was about 7 young autistic adults facing challenges, and it was wonderful that 12 autistic people were cast to play actually autistic characters. But also, this show was about finding community on and off stage. It was about communication. It was about different ways of approaching romance. It was about connection. It was about queer characters existing with love and with care. It was about young adults. They're not children. Autism does not disappear when you become an adult. It was about showcasing autistic people of color who are underdiagnosed, being able to exist. It was about one of the first, if not the first actor from Taiwan on Broadway. It was about 7 people working on achieving their goals no matter how big or small they seemed, and they all did. And they all supported each other through it all alongside their families, blood and chosen, just like y'all supported us and like we have supported each other. Shows like this aren't supposed to make it to Broadway, but here we are. As Peter said, this is not the end, this is only the beginning. Thank you all for dancing with us.